Hello, BookTube. I recently passed 600 subscribers. To celebrate, I put out a call for questions, and these are my answers to those questions. First up is Joshua Crebo, who asks two questions. Question number one: what do you do for a living? I work in home health care. I get paid to take care of my mother. Question number two: do you have a favorite poem? My favorite poem is Shine Perishing Republic by Robertson Jeffers, with The Joy of Writing by Wisława Szymborska and Autumn Velocity by Austin Smith as runners up. Next is some questions read by Fred. His first question: do you enjoy the holiday season? Well enough. Not as much as I used to. If so, what is your favorite book to read, film to watch, and food to eat during this time? I don't really have a favorite book to read for the for the Halloween season. I'm not really big on recurring holiday or seasonal reads. Although I have thought about making Demon Slayer a tradition in October, but I'm not entirely sure if that will happen or not. Film to watch would probably be The Devil Rides Out. It's a Hammer horror film based on a novel by Dennis Wheatley from the 1930s. I used to be a devotee of TCM, Turner Classic Movies. Every October, they would run horror film marathons on the day of the week that Halloween would take place, as well as an all-day or a two-day horror film marathon on October 30th and Halloween itself. And usually The Devil Rides Out would be featured in this marathon, at least on one of those days. And food to eat, I don't really have a Halloween themed food that I would eat. And so the sort of follow up would be, if not Halloween, what season helps answer those questions. So again, no holiday or season, I really don't have a theme. Sometimes I would like to decorate and craft and have traditions, but I never follow through on that. Choco1199 asks, what was your favorite book when you were a child? The True Story of the Three Little Pigs by John Sazurka for a picture book, and I think Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing by Judy Blume. But I think for sure The True Story of the Three Little Pigs probably would be overall my favorite. Do you ever read to the little kids in your family? No, I do not. When they were younger, I tried to, and my mom tried to, but they've never been all that interested. And so what is your favorite food, and what is your favorite treat dessert? So I'm going to go with two for each. One that I make and one that I don't make. So for my favorite food that I make, it would be probably omelets. I love omelets, particularly a simple ham and cheese omelet with some onions. Although I have since started to make it with sriracha, and oh boy, is that good. For food that I don't make, it would be pizza. Simple pepperoni pizza, which I'm actually starting to crave a good pizzeria pizza. I haven't had one in a very long time. So for treat dessert, my favorite that I make would be a German chocolate cake. German chocolate cake is my family's go-to celebratory dessert. And I've made German chocolate cake for my mother's birthday 2 years running, and it's turned out pretty dang good. For a dessert that I don't make, that would be a 4-layer delight, which is a kind of trifle dish that has a pecan crust, and then a cream cheese layer, a pudding layer, which is a mix of vanilla pudding and chocolate pudding, and then a whipped cream layer on top. I am banned from making a 4-layer delight because I would almost certainly make the pudding layer from scratch. I don't know if I would do a mix of a vanilla pastry cream, which on its own would be a vanilla pudding, and then a chocolate pudding, or just make a double chocolate pudding. And then I would also make the whipped cream from scratch as well. I basically have largely eschewed box cakes and puddings over the recent years. I much prefer making things from scratch. Helvetica Neptune 537 asks, number 1, do you play video games? Not in a long time. When I was younger, I played video games fairly frequently, not to the extent as my brother. He was much more of a gamer than I ever was. My playing has been spotty through the years. There are years when I play more heavily than others, and I last played video games about 3 or 4 years ago. I bought my brother's PS4 and would play DC Universe Online during the few hours between when my mom went to bed and when I would go to bed. And I found that I was a little bit too hopped up to easily go to sleep, so I kind of stopped playing video games. And then that PS4 ended up being, I don't remember exactly how I ended up losing it, but somehow or other, my brother and sister-in-law ended up taking it from me and selling it to her brother, which is typical for them. And the second question is, and if so, have you played Hitman Blood Money? No, I've never played that game. Natasha Louise 467 asks, where is your favorite place to read? On the couch in the living room. So it'd be at home. I haven't been to a coffee shop in a long, long time. And I don't read outside because it can sometimes get too bright, and I have a hard time reading in very bright lights. Fred Squid 4711 asks, do you have any series recommendations that you think would be a good place for a manga newbie to start? I would recommend for relatively shorter series. Fullmetal Alchemist by Hiromu Arakawa, and Demon Slayer by Koyoharu Gotoge. Demon Slayer would be the shorter of the two. Both series have one central storyline that runs throughout the series, and they are both really good. They are among my top 10 favorite manga series. If you're not afraid of trying out longer series, there is always the big three from 20 years ago. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda, even though that is currently still ongoing at 112 volumes. Naruto by Masashi Kishimoto, and Bleach by Tite Kubo. I would also recommend my beloved Fairy Tail by Hiro Mishima. If you're more interested in series that are currently running, I would recommend Dandadan by Yukinobu Tatsu and Sakamoto Days by Yuto Suzuki. Another good choice would be in a much more recent series. So far, there's only 3 volumes in English. A 4th volume will come out this coming Tuesday, and that is Kagurabachi by Takeru Hokazono. And also, I would like to throw in My Hero Academia by Kohei Horikoshi. That series is also really good. But what I would recommend is checking out like some first volumes. Although with One Piece you might want to do the omnibus edition since there are lots of volumes, and see what you like. And if there are any in the series that you like, start collecting them. And finally, Saracen's Salute asks, have you traveled much outside the United States? And sadly, I have not. I've only ever been and lived in the United States, and I've never traveled out of the country, despite my desire to do so. It's never worked out, and I've never gotten around to actually attempting to go on vacation or travel outside of the U.S. I've rarely traveled outside of Texas. So those are my answers to my 600 Q&A. Thank you, BookTube. Thank you to everyone who asked questions. Do have a great weekend, and I will see you on Monday with some new videos. Hopefully that will include a manga haul, although don't hold your breath on that. So until I see you next time, BookTube, thank you. Again, have a great weekend and stay safe.